So we had a little bit of a cool down on Bitcoin today, and Misti came down a little bit, so I bought some shares. Stick around and we'll go over my purchase price. Hello my friends, this is Legend. So today Bitcoin came down just a little bit. We're still pretty high up there, right? But it did come down a little bit, and Misti came down. Let's slide over to the chart and check it out. All right, so here we are on Bitcoin, and as you can see, Bitcoin came down to about 108,000. It was as high as 111,000 today, but it did trail down to about 108 with a low of about 107. So of course, Bitcoin came down, and Misti and Mr. came down as well. Let's check those out. All right, so here we are on MSTR, and as you can see, we had a big red candle today, and we've got that momentum increasing on the downside. We've got that cross down on the MACD, and the RSI is pointing down as well. So currently we are at 369.51 per share for MSTR, and if we look at the indicators here, and I'm going to switch it over to the adjusted to get a better picture of where it's sitting on the indicators, and I will just switch that to adjusted right here. And now we're looking at the adjusted chart, and you won't see much of a difference for MSTR. It does affect MSTY because it does pay the distribution, but since MSTR does not pay a dividend or distribution, it does not affect the chart. But as you can see, we did have that big red candle, and I've got the Bollinger Band here turned on. The white is the upper, the blue's the mid, and the yellow is the bottom of the Bollinger Band. And we did get down toward that bottom of that Bollinger Band. So when I saw it down there, and if you can see on this RSI2, it went down below the 10 on the RSI2. It's down right now after hours at 3.94. So anything below 10 for me could be a potential buy point. Now I'm not saying that it won't keep on coming down and present even a better buy point, but that is a particular sign for me to start looking to see if I want to buy shares of MSTR or any other stock when it hits that trigger point. So I did. I ended up buying 2 shares, and whenever I bought it, it was at 375.93. Okay, so it is currently at the 369.51. So it is at a better buy point even right now than what I bought it at. But I saw it, and it was down below that 10. So I went ahead and put an order in to buy 2 shares of MSTR. Now, since MSTR was down and below that 10 on the RSI2, I figured I would go check out Misti to see if I could buy a few more shares of Misti as well. All right, here we're looking at Misti, and this is the adjusted chart. And as you can see, it is too down toward the bottom of that Bollinger Band. We did have that red candle. We do have some red momentum building with that MACD pointing down, and that RSI, boom, below 10 on the RSI2. Currently, it is sitting at 4.17. So that was a good point for me to buy a few more shares. And again, I'm not saying that that's the bottom, but that triggered me to look into buying some shares if that's what I wanted to do. So I did. I ended up buying 10 shares at $21.88. And it looks like toward the end of the day, it did come on down a little bit more. Came down to $21.52. So if you were buying at that point, you got a better buy price than I did. So congrats on that. But again, this is not financial advice, and you should not follow my buys and sells. You should do your own research to determine when you want to buy or even if you want to buy. But for me, I'm looking for that candle to get toward the bottom of that Bollinger Band, which is this right down here. And then I'm looking for that RSI2, which is this yellow line down here at the bottom of the screen. And when it gets below that 10, that purple line is the line I drew for 10, and it is below it, then for me, that's a good time to maybe DCA or dollar cost average into the position. But you have to decide what's right for you, or even if MSTY is even right for you to invest in. And I also made one other play that I did mention on a video 2 ago about selling a put. And I sold a $20 put for June the 20th and earned 45 cents per share. 100 shares being $45 on that one. And let's just slide over to the option chain here real quick, and I'll show you which one I've got. And since that price did drop today, I imagine that one is actually going to show worth more than 45 cents. As that price gets closer to my strike of 20, the cost or that premium will increase, but you never know which way the market's going to go. So you just make a decision. If you have a red day, and I had a red day on that 21st of May, so I went ahead and I sold a $20 put for June the 20th. And we'll open June the 20th here. And I sold a $20 put, this one right here. And this is the put side. As you can see right here, it says puts. So I went down to $20 and look at that. Oh my goodness. It's 88 cents now. So I could have doubled my premium by selling a put today. But again, unless you have a working crystal ball, there's no way to know what tomorrow is going to bring. And yes, I could have sold another put at the 20 and got close to that 88 cent right here for today out to that same expiration date. But then that would also increase my potential ownership of 100 shares more than what I have already sold puts on. So currently I have this $20 put and I only earned 45 cents. And if you would have done it today, you would have earned about 85 cents. Now that delta on that now is about 40. And when I did it, it was closer to about 20. It was in the 20 range. I did not record that delta for that one, as it really doesn't matter for the MSTYs so much, in my opinion, for these high yield ETFs. I do use the delta whenever I'm selling calls and puts for a stock, say like Microsoft or VOO or SOXY or something like that. But for MSTY, since it is utilizing MSTR, the delta really is not going to be of much use for these type of plays, in my opinion. Really, I'm just looking for a price that I'm willing to buy those shares at, and then I'm trying to earn a premium that is worthy of buying those shares at that price. All right, so let's just slide over to my stock tracker sheet, and we're going to check out my position of where I'm at, and then we'll enter in my new purchase along with the put that I sold and see where that put my new average at. All right, so here we are on my stock tracker sheet. And for these high yield ETFs, in my opinion, you really need to track your adjusted price per share. Not just your purchase price per share, but your adjusted price per share. And the reason being is because that adjusted price per share, once it gets down to zero, in my case right here, I'm at $6.41. But once that gets to zero, then I will have earned enough distributions and premium in order to account and cover all of my invested capital. So therefore, I will have earned all of my capital back at that point. And then all distributions or premiums that I would earn from that point on would be 100% free and clear. So before I enter in my positions here, if you do not have a way of tracking your adjusted price per share and a way of entering in your distributions that you're earning along with the purchases that you're making of MSTY, and if you're selling any puts or calls and earning some extra premium as well, then you're more than welcome to download this sheet to help track your position in MSTY. And to use the sheet, of course, you enter in the stock ticker that you're wanting to track. right here. And once you've entered in your ticker symbol here, it will kick out the current price of that ticker at that current moment. Then when you enter in the number of shares that you've purchased, at what price that you've bought it at, it will add up and keep track of the number of shares you have here. It will also calculate your purchase share average here and how much money you have spent out of your pocket. It will then also add and calculate your total distributions you've earned along with any premium you've earned and the current market price value. This here basically is the total value of your position of Misti. So 400 shares times $21.52, which is the last price of Misti here, would give me $8,608. So that's the value of my Misti position, not including any distributions. So out of that $10,000 that I have invested, after I deduct my distributions, I am only at $2,563.32 at risk of my capital. Therefore, if I take that and divide it by the 400 shares, I get $6.41 per share still at risk. And I have earned back a total of 74.57%. So that's basically the quick rundown of this sheet, what it provides you, all by just entering in when you make your purchases and when you earn your distributions. It will keep track of the rest of it for you so that you don't have to on your own. But if you do have a way of doing this or tracking it, please utilize your method or your sheet to do that. I just want to make sure that you are at least tracking that adjusted price per share, because to me, that's important for these high yield ETFs, as it can get very confusing of buying shares, earning distributions, and that distribution coming in, if it's $1,000 and you know you bought $200 worth of shares last week, well, it sounds like you're making money, but you could actually still be a bit in the hole. So if you are interested in this sheet, you can get it by clicking the link in the description, and there also will be a link in the pinned comments of this video. It'll take you to the Buy Me a Coffee website, and that's where you would get this sheet at. So before we enter in my purchases and my new option premium, I want to also point out, as you can see here, the premium earned here says 0, but I do have some premium over here that I did earn. As you can see here, here's a whole lot right here, but I got it turned off at the moment. If you want to turn it on, you simply click this, you got a drop down, you click yes, and when you click yes, it adds in that premium for you to $679.09. And that amount then changes that adjusted price per share. So my now new adjusted price per share is $4.71 per share. I only have $1,884.23 capital at risk, and I have earned back 81.30% of my money back. Selling those options has helped bring my price per share down, and that's my adjusted price per share down. So let's just go ahead and enter in my new purchases here. And the one I made was on today was at 5/23/2025, and the price per share that I bought it at was at $21.88, and I purchased 10 shares. Now once I enter this, it will calculate how much that value is. It will also add in the number of shares up here. That 400 will change to 410. It will adjust this price per share average. That's the purchase price per share average. And it will also adjust these values over here as well. Whereas I have my adjusted price per share at $4.71, you'll see this will actually go up. And that's because I purchased shares at $21.88, and this average price per share of my adjusted is at $4.71, so that will increase. But my $25.20 purchase price over here will decrease because the $21.88 is under $25.20. just showing the mechanics here of it and what's going to happen. So let me go ahead and hit enter here, and we'll see the numbers change. And there it is. So now my purchase share average is $25.12 instead of that $25.20. Now my adjusted price per share did go up slightly, and now it's at $5.13 with a risk of capital of $2,103.03. Okay, but I did sell a put, so that will give me a little bit of income to help adjust that average price per share. So let's just go ahead and enter that into the sheet over here under the option premium earned. So I made that purchase on 5/21/2025. That put that I sold will expire on 6/20/2025. All right, so it is good until that date, and if it does not reach my strike, then it will expire worthless. If it does reach it by my expiration date, then I could get put the shares at that $20 strike. And that is what this one is. It is a $20 put, and I have one of them. And I'm just typing this part in. This is open field for you to type in whatever it is you want to put in here. So I sold a $20 put, and I sold one of those. And how much did I earn? I earned $45 total for that put. But just to make sure that I'm showing it all correct, I'm going to type it into my calculator right here. And I'm also going to subtract off my fee that I have to pay to sell that put, just so that I'm also capturing those fees as well. So I made 45 cents per share times 100 shares per contract. And how many contracts did I have? I had one contract. So I have that $45, like I said. But it did cost me a fee to sell that put. And with Webull, it's just pennies. So I will subtract off that fee, and that fee total was 7 cents. So minus 0.07. So I will have earned a total of $44.93, and I'll enter that into this field right here of 44.93. And once I enter this, you'll see this adjusted price per share of $5.13. You'll see that go down slightly. You will see the premium earned over here, $679.09. You'll see that go up slightly. So let's just go ahead and hit the button and see what we got. All right, so our premium earned now is $724.02, and our adjusted price per share is $5.02. So every little bit helps, and as you can see, I currently have 3 puts open. I've got 2 of them that will expire July the 18th, one at a $22 strike and another one at a $20 strike. Both of those are puts. And then I have the one that I just did that will expire on June the 20th. It's a $20 put. So again, if you like this sheet and if you would like to get a copy of it, simply go to the descriptions and you'll see a link there, or you can see the pinned comment and there will be a link in that as well to take you to the Buy Me a Coffee site where you can get a copy of this sheet. But if you have a way of tracking your adjusted price per share, or you have your own sheet that you're using, please definitely do use that. But either way, make sure you're tracking that adjusted price per share. So anyway, I think I'm going to wrap it up right there. If you don't mind hitting that subscribe button and smash the like button, it'd be much appreciated. And as always, I am not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. Please do your own due diligence before you get into any stock plays. And until next time, legend out.